Welcome to another Big Studio podcast. Today we're going to be talking about quite a few different things that we've been looking at over the last week. It's been a little while since we've done a podcast. I guess the last one we did was probably about 4 or 5 months ago. Today we've got myself, Jason, and we got
Tyler,
and we have Sandeep. We're going to talk about some fun stuff. It's like 80 degrees in the office here. That's Celsius. Water's almost ready to boil.
plus the heat of the lights.
Yeah. Okay, so what's new this week?
I don't know. You had some kind of interesting topics. The ones I didn't really know too much about. What were the ones you were?
I was planning to talk about marketing attribution. I mean, it's one factor that most small businesses are not considering nowadays. What it actually means is it's defining typical set of events that influence a consumer's buying decision. So before a customer makes a purchase, for example, okay, he goes through a process of understanding and educating himself about the product. And
I know, like we were trying to plan our wedding and trying to pick places, man. I've never been on a trip. I just constantly going and trying to teach myself about what resorts and what to look for. Right?
Exactly.
That's what I've been doing recently.
Exactly. I mean, people go online now. They search for products. They search for reviews. They look into information. I mean, they go for referrals and stuff. And even before making the purchase, they educate themselves. I mean, this is a trend that has changed over the years with the access to information that is available nowadays. So it's all about measuring that element and using that in your marketing mix.
So it's from the little bit that I read of it that we were talking about earlier. It's somewhat about the entire buying cycle.
Exactly.
From when the person comes to your site or goes into your store or does whatever, and then how long it takes them to purchase something, right?
And does it depend on price of the object that they're buying, that we do more research, or
it's just about before buying anything. I mean, that's what everyone do, right? You try and educate yourself. What composes the buying decision for any consumer? I mean, it starts with awareness. It goes into familiarity, consideration, and before making the purchase, it goes through all these stages. And as a small business or any business, as a matter of fact, they have to understand that pushing a product onto a customer is not enough. I mean, you have to inform them. You have to take a specific approach to educate them to make the purchase.
Okay.
So what are some things you can do to increase, I guess, or limit the amount of problems that you have with the attribution for your marketing?
See, Adobe, I mean, they did a survey recently, and it says that only 26% of consumer businesses are actually considering that. I mean, using marketing attribution, for example. Okay, and when you talk about marketing attribution, there are different channels by which you market, right? So measuring how important one channel leads to this buying decision process. Do you guys?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm just wondering, what's, I guess it really depends on what your product is and what your service is, depending, matters on what you're doing to direct those consumers to the end to buy your product,
Exactly.
right? What their call to action is and what kind of returns that you're getting from it. One thing that I was reading about, it was talking about whether you have a problem with your marketing attribution, your sales attribution, and being able to check whether, not really being able to check, but what your, how do you say? Sorry, the word's lost. I lost the word. Anyways, so it's being able to keep track of the analytics behind each of your sales, right?
Exactly.
So that you know that.
Purchase.
Yeah. So if someone comes to your site, are they buying on the first visit to your site? Are they buying on the second visit to your site? what percentage of people are buying on that visit to your site or your store or whatever, and then how many. And then so if you have 90% of the people who are buying on the first or second visit, then you don't really have that much of a problem. But if you have your problem maybe is in the last 10% who are taking 5 or 6 times to come to your site, or maybe they're not buying at all, right? So that's where your problem lies, and what you can do to convert those.
Exactly. I mean,
people.
what the problem is, what I feel personally is before the customer makes his first visit as well. Okay, he has gained some information. Maybe he has seen a billboard, or maybe he has read something on the on a newspaper or a magazine, whatever. So he's mostly what businesses do nowadays is they measure last click attribution. I mean, before making the purchase, what source did the client come from or the customer come from? Okay, so that is actually one. It's just one element that adds to measuring marketing attribution. I mean, the customer goes through different stages and then buys a product. So you need to make sure that all channels, all channels of marketing, whatever you guys are using, you need to ensure that everything is.
So that you're taking them through the proper channels,
Exactly.
so that you have a purchase flow that you can walk them through to increase the number of sales that you have.
And I think like that kind of I found something earlier was like when I went and tried to buy furniture for my place when we moved here. The biggest problem was just trying to picture it kind of in our place, and just I would take pictures of my house and of the place and take it to the store and try to like see it there, right? And I don't know. And I went back and forth to the stores, different stores, like 3 or 4 times. And each time, I still have no clue of is this going to look good. I don't want to, who wants to put down that kind of money if you're not sure that it's going to look good, right? And there was this new thing I seen. I don't know, maybe it's not new, but it's new to me, and I found it just recently. Was an Ikea app, right? And what you can do is you can have the Ikea catalog, and you can take a picture, use their app, and scan over top of like the page of the piece of furniture or whatever you want to do, and then you put the catalog down as a reference point, and you do like
use your phone or tablet or
phone, tablet, and what is it called when you with the screen?
Augmented reality.
Yeah, augmented reality, meaning it would basically using the catalog, and it would put the piece of furniture in that spot, and you look through your cell phone, and it will put it as a 3D object that you can move your camera around or your phone or whatever it is, and it'll change rotation with you, so you can see it at the spot before you buy
what
it.
it will actually look like in your space.
Yeah, and I think that would help to streamline the client, right? And if I had that for the stores I was looking at, I would use that, and it would probably make the process of buying way faster.
One good question for that is, should you look through your phone to see the view?
Yeah, you have to.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not that doesn't just put it there. It's just like puts the 3D object and it makes it look like it's there, but you can only see it through your phone or tablet or internet.
Thinking similar to Iron Man, right? Everything will start popping.
No,
out.
It looks like that through the screen, but it's not a hologram to put on.
There's
maybe that's the next step.
I think Lego and stuff has something similar to that with some of their toys that they have, or there's some video games or some kids games that you can get, and you put the board out, and if you have like Connect or a webcam or something like that, I'm not really sure what it is, but then you can put it up, and then you can play video games, and the thing actually fights on you see on the TV, but it's looking in front of you, and then you see the 3D characters on the ground in front of you, which is interesting. There's a company here in town working on a lot of augmented reality stuff. Talking Dog Studios, they've been working on it for a while. And just recently they're working with a company out of Manitoba, and they just got a $750,000 grant. The company that Talking Dog is working with.
Okay.
They got a $750,000 grant just recently to build more augmented reality. I think they're either building a game or something, some kind of I'm not entirely sure, but it's like some sort of social,
some kind of software site kind of stuff, right?
Game type stuff, and you have to use it's like an app on your phone, and you go around and play the game somehow. I'm not entirely sure, but it involves a lot of augmented reality and wherever you're at.
You're going over Google.
Oh yeah, it's called the Google Trusted Photographers.
Okay.
And everybody knows Google Maps, and then also lots of people know the Google Street View, right? And you know, some people might have seen it driving around town, and you can kind of just put yourself as if you were in the vehicle or walking and kind of go and see the world around you in a completely 360-degree environment, and you can kind of navigate and see it, right? But so you can go up to a business like Think Studio, you can find it, you can see the store, you can see the front, but you actually can't go into the store, and you know, or even let's just say a big mall, right? You see the mall, but you don't know any place in it. This what it does is makes it so that you can be certified by Google by meeting some requirements and filling out forms, which we're actually in the process of doing right now. And what we can do is then, let's say the malls or something like that, they can hire us, go in and take these 360-degree pictures and stitch them together and make it a continuation from the street into the store and through the store, and they can kind of walk.
So more importantly, Google is taking it and turning their street view into like a virtual tour of different businesses, right?
Yes, exactly.
So instead of actually having to go into the business, you can do like a street view and then go into the business right from Google Maps or Google Earth or whatever it is.
Exactly. It's just another another way to attract business, to attract people to come look at your stores and that kind of stuff, you know.
And it's another excuse to have a pretty store.
Yeah, exactly.
A good looking store, because people are going to start judging you on how the inside of your store looks.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus,
I think it would be good for people to check the ambience of a restaurant as well.
yeah.
I mean, you never know how the restaurant will look like once
you're
The
actually
thing
there,
is-
you've never been there.
The thing is, though, you see some of the best food comes from some of the worst looking restaurants.
That's true.
You know,
That's
so
true.
Then maybe they wouldn't
Absolutely
hire you, but maybe they would, because then they could say, "Come look at our place. I know our place maybe isn't the best, but our food is even. That's what we put on money is. It's
Yeah.
our food."
No, true. I mean, I went to the store beside what's that, near the Tim Hortons, the Donut.
The donut place?
Okay.
Don't actually. Yeah.
When I first went into it, I was skeptical on ordering. Okay, well,
Yeah, I
then-
know. So
Yeah.
was I. We used to work right by it there in our old office.
and I ordered, and then I went back to back. Like 3 days, we've been having shawarma from there.
Okay, yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Except for they give you weird looks when you ask them to mix weird stuff together. They laugh at you. I tried to make like a big tortilla thing. I don't know. They laughed. I had to use
They're
2
good
wraps, but
Yeah.
it's good food. And I liked
It's
it.
very good.
They're good people over there, and they still come down to the salon and get haircuts too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
Ahmed was there today.
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah.
Muhammad.
Muhammad,
I'm sorry. Muhammad was down there today getting a haircut.
Awesome.
Okay, so one of the things I've been looking at is, well, 2 things I've got here, and it's just kind of a quick chat. One related to Google, and one is related to Google AdWords, and how so Google has sponsored links, and they have organic search results when you look when you do a search. So typically the AdWords, the sponsored ads are in the first few links at the top, right, and then you have ads down the side.
Or bottom too.
And I guess they're on the bottom now. And the article I was reading was talking about how Google is filling up more and more of their search results pages with ads, and making it so that the line between organic results and AdWords is very thin. So you can't really tell where people are having difficulty telling where the ads begin and where the search results are.
You mean like the ones like, let's say, if I search, I don't know, just anything, a light, and I'm
Yeah.
looking for a specific light, and it shows like the top, it's in yellow. Is that a Google AdWord then?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or what is that? Because I know lots of people. I don't do it. I don't know why. I always go past them because I always ignore them. But I know other people, when I watch them use Google, they'll just click on the first one.
And that's
yellow,
ex-
and it's an ad. I know it's an ad, but I mean, it might not be the best result, but it's like.
And
Something
that's
like
exactly
that.
that's what we're talking about, right? Is those ads, and Google is making it so that the line between, it's making it difficult for people to distinguish between what are ads and what aren't ads.
Sure.
And through a lot of studies that people have been doing about that is, they're finding that people don't even know that there are ads on Google.
Okay.
So
Is
they,
that good or bad?
I guess it's good and bad, because good for businesses who are doing AdWords.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
you're up at the top of AdWords, then people are trusting those links
And
as a result. But it's bad for people who are looking for results, because if the link that they click on at the top of the page isn't a quality link and it's not providing the information that they want,
Exactly.
it's providing them with poor information.
See, that's what I mean. Now, with this way, anyone who has money, I mean, any business that has money to invest can build on AdWords and
Mhm.
get their site listed as high as possible.
Right. So what we talked about in the past, right, is doing organic search results, which
Mhm.
gets you to as high as you can get above, like just below the paid ads, but then also doing paid ads to supplement those areas where you can't get into those, where you can't get your organic search results up. And then occasionally you might want to even have AdWords in there, just to make sure you're right at the top, because the first few links in Google are the ones that get clicked more often, right? Do they still have the "I'm feeling lucky" button on Google?
I don't know if they do or not.
No, I don't think so.
But
It's been a while since
Yeah, I don't
I
haven't
don't
seen
know if
it
it's
either.
actually called, but I don't know if it does the same kind of process with if you were. I thought I read somewhere where maybe I'm wrong, but you know, like you can add it to some browsers, the top right hand corner, you can use search. You can have a search box there. You can now use Bing, Google, that way.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is using the "I'm feeling lucky" button, or is it "I feel lucky"? That's just a random search for anything.
No, "I'm feeling lucky" takes you to the first link. It used to just take you to the first link in the search results.
Oh.
So you would search up something and then I'm feeling lucky, whatever. It would take you.
That's not towards it at all. So.
It would take you to. I think it would take you to the first link on the.
I think
on the search
another
results.
reason why Google might have started doing this is increased number of people who are demanding for AdWords and increasing their budget spend because of the competition and the market size that's growing, right?
Well, about
It has to accommodate everyone as well.
I think it was about 2 years ago,
Okay.
2 or 3. I don't remember. It's hot in here, hey. Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago, Google.
Remove as little as possible.
What did they do? They switched. I think they switched their CEO.
Google did?
Yeah. Something like that. Anyway, so what happened was the new CEO or the new management decided that they're taking Google in a new direction.
Okay.
Or they really, really wanted to compete in the world of ads and with Facebook.
Okay.
Right? So a lot of things have changed in Google. They used to have a rule where employees were allowed to work on 20% of the time employees were allowed to work on their own project.
Okay.
Kind of thing. As long as that internal project, so long as it was related to Google's mission.
Okay.
Kind of thing. So so that's where Google AdWords came from. That's where Google Plus, that's where like a lot of these things that we use now, Google Maps, all that, those were internal projects developed by Google employees as a side thing, and then they're like, okay, that's awesome, let's integrate that into our thing. But what I read the other day that they haven't officially ended that program, but now everything is focused on money at Google. So everything at Google is now, that's why we're seeing a huge proliferation in AdWords. We're seeing they're pushing Google Plus, they're pushing all different kind of AdWords, YouTube, everything like that. Everything is ads, right?
So
and it's all about money because now Google is less a search engine, they're an advertising company.
Yeah, but I mean, by doing that, though, are they cutting down on innovation then, or are they just saying, "Hey, we made this"?
Well, that's what people have been arguing, is that they're now going to be cutting down on innovation because they're not allowing employees to develop those things.
Yeah, but
and managers are being held responsible for productivity, and if they're not being productive, so to eliminate or to increase productivity, they're making sure that their employees aren't doing the 20% rule, and that now those 20% projects all have to be pre-approved, and before they start working on something like that. And apparently managers are being very discouraged to approve any internal projects.
As them doing that 20%, right? I mean, they made all this stuff, right? But at what point did they say? Well, I guess it's a pretty large company now, obviously, but
they only made about 150 billion last year.
But like Google Plus, right? I mean, someone made that. They said, okay, great, let's implement this, right? And they said, now is it a good idea to say, okay, let's back off this 20% a little bit and put some time and effort into promoting this? Or would they have done that anyway?
I think their management and everything changed. So what I've been reading is that Google has really changed their focus to being generating income.
No, but what I meant was just like do you think like by them doing this, it's good and bad because it reduces innovation, but it's good because this way they can put more time and effort into promoting these things that they have made. Because I mean, would they put that time and effort into it regardless of this 20%, or are they saying, hey, let's just take that away because
I think so. I think they would have because, well, Google's a really large company,
yeah,
and they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of employees. So it's not going to. They would have somebody working on that anyways, right? So it's not going by taking away that 1 day a week where employees are allowed to work on an internal project. They're not. I don't think it's so that they can focus on projects that. Well, it is more, but it's more now to focus on projects that are profitable, and so that they're working on their because they really want to compete with Facebook. They want to, and I think they want to be the top social media.
Probably. I mean, you're talking about Google Plus.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I think that this might is it an issue or is it something that's happening in the management level or is it from the operational level as well? Because I'm not sure if
I think it's coming from the top.
top right. Okay.
Yeah, because I guess if I was an employee I was work for Google and stuff, I'd probably really look forward to that day I could just work with my group of friends, whatever it is, and produce this product.
Well, I think that's what I was when I was saying with the new CEO. I think it was the new CEO of the company. They're really focusing on maximizing profits for their shareholders rather than maximizing innovation, I suppose. So
yeah, but one thing is the secret to any successful business is innovation. I mean, once you stop innovating, right, things turn bad. Like the same thing that happened with BlackBerry too. Okay, and even Microsoft. I mean, people say that it's on the verge of a downfall.
You mean downfall with innovation or downfall in like the company itself?
The company itself. People are asking Bill Gates to come back and be the CEO.
I don't know.
I think Microsoft has had some issues going on there too. But then you also see that with, I even think it's Apple's going to have those issues too.
I know.
With Steve Jobs,
but it's not
passing away. They have new.
Even with him there near the end, though, right? It was just they're still not like after that came with the iPhone. Where was he? It's crazy innovation, right? It exploded. It's a new thing. But then from there, where they went, they just it's thinner, faster, thinner, faster.
Like barely, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like you said, when you stop the innovation, what happens to the company, right? I mean, I guess they get a whole bunch of money, but until they hit that point where now nothing's innovating and they get less money and they're not innovating, they get less money. So I guess for the short term, I think it may be a good idea for Google maybe to try that. But
like the newest thing that Apple came out with, it was that mini.
Well, I know, right? Or the newest thing is MacBook Pro. It's like a I don't know what the heck. I think it's MacBook Pro. Maybe it's the MacBook.
No, I think the mini. I think the mini was.
What they're coming out with, it's like a black tube.
That's a new computer. That's the not MacBook. It's the iMac.
Okay.
Is it an iMac?
I believe it would be the new iMac or mini Mac.
Whatever it is, it's just like at least that now it's like a new design.
It's more of a style
product. It's I don't know if I like the look of it. It's just this black big tube. Well, I don't know if it's big, but either way, I just looked at it. The first time I seen the ad, I was like, what the heck? I was like, what am I looking at? And I had to go through and look at all the specs and what this thing was. I didn't even know what it was.
A computer that doesn't look like a computer.
Yeah, right. Is that good or bad? It looks like this microphone, but black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's releasing its iPhone 5S and 5C on September 10th.
What's that?
Apple is releasing their latest set of
okay.
On September 10th.
Yeah.
That'll be, I don't know what the specs are, but it'll be a slight upgrade. Are they doing anything new?
They're coming up. This has not been confirmed yet, but it seems they're going to come up with a 5C as well, a cheaper model of the iPhone for capitalizing on mid-market segment.
like Nintendo's new thing, the 2DS.
Okay.
And it's just like basically a tablet that's like the 3DS, but doesn't do 3D and doesn't fold.
Well, what I read about that was that they have the 3DS, which is marketed at an audience over 7 years old because it says on it not for use by 7 ages 7 and up.
I don't know if it's
And
that
then-
though, or if it's.
But the article I was reading was saying that the point behind it was that the 2DS is meant for a younger audience. So it's a seven and younger. So like the 3 to 7 year olds
Yeah.
who would be able to play it a little better because
Now, an article for that, yes.
maybe it's slightly
that's
more
what-
durable, not
Yeah.
as breakable. And
But I think the secret behind actually is that they're like, hey, we didn't sell enough 3DSs, and we're coming out with a new Pokemon game, right?
well, that's the thing is
And
they're
this
launching
whole-
it around the
and,
same
I
time
mean,
with Pokemon.
and then this Pokemon game with Nintendo, with like the handheld devices, it just like they sell millions and millions and millions, right? But
Yeah.
and since it's so expensive, like you were saying, like the 3DS, now they're like, hey, let's put this really cheaper version out, so people buy it, and then also.
So
buy
how
the
much
Pokemon
is
game.
a 3DS?
I right now I don't know. I know the 2DS is $129.99 when it's going to come out. 3DS, I'm not sure
I
when
think
it's
it's
at.
like 225 or something like that. Just over 200.
It could it's come down from when it first came out, but either way, this is just another thing for them to spend some more money throughout. And then
That's it.
because the thing is, this new game, Pokemon game X and Y, or whatever it is, I think it's going to be coming out, and it can be played on the 2DS, 3DS, and I think that's it. I don't know if it's on every book. I'm just saying it's just another product. It's not really innovative. It's just they're saying, hey, let's hit that mid market, put something out so more people can buy product.
And that's part of being in business though too. There's innovation, but then there's also what can we do to sell more copies?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
we're
the
we're at the end of the day we're here to make money, right?
Exactly.
It's not
Yeah.
it's not always to provide the world with something spectacular and wonderful. I had another thing I want to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk just real quick is reviews, like reviews for your business, reviews for online reviews from customers and everything like that. So I was reading another thing about a hotel in Montreal who had a customer stay there, and as the customer was staying there, he woke up in the middle of the night and found out that he was like covered in bed bugs. So he felt bed bugs biting his legs and stuff, and he woke up in the middle of the night and he trapped a couple in a glass cup, and he brought them down to the front desk and said, "Look, like I've got bed bugs in my room. I've caught a couple. I don't want to stay here. Like, what are you going to do for me?" And they said, "Well, we'll give you a $40 refund for staying in a hotel, and you can stay at one of our sister hotels down the street." And he said, "I'm not entirely sure what he said." He basically said no. He said, "Screw this. You know what?
Well, really, that's like,
he'll
what the
go
hell
back."
is
He went
that?
back up to his room. The thing is, the idea of bed bugs is horrible, right?
Well,
Like
it's like-
nobody wants bed bugs. No, like,
once
they're
you
hard to
finish-
get rid of. You don't want them. You can get them in your luggage. You're gonna bring them home,
Exactly. Because you
Everything
have all
like
this
that.
stuff, right? I mean,
right? So
now
it's not
when you
just
do it,
it's not
everyone
just
get home and have that risk. I want them to freaking reimburse me for everything that's
clean
in
all
there.
my stuff. Make sure there's no
Exactly.
bed bugs.
Set
Everything
me
like
up a room
that.
for 2 days at someplace else, and while you
Yeah.
clean.
Well,
my
I
other
think they're
stuff.
there on a sports trip, and then with a bunch of other like
Either way, it just
athletes and everything
Yeah.
like that. But still, so you find that, and so the hotel offers to give him $40 in a room at a different one of their chain hotels, and he said he woke up in the morning and said no, and he basically said, like, since you're not really doing anything for me, you should really beg me not to post a bad review about you online. And they didn't really care. They're like, yeah, go about your business. And so he did. He went on TripAdvisor and he posted a bad review about them, saying the way their customer service and that they have bed bugs. And he's put that on there to warn other people, because I think other people have. That's the whole point of reviews, right? Is so you can warn other people or give an accurate representation of what your experience was like at that business.
And there's always
So-
going to be there's always going to be those trolls that just go on and, just because it was raining out, they had a shitty time. But, so you got to
It
think
could-
of
yeah, it
but
It
anytime,
can happen, and people
I
can
would
pick through that, right?
so
So.
anytime I go on TripAdvisor or any kind of review place, I see something like that. I mean, that's a no. I'm not ready.
So the hotel saw that, and they asked him to take it down. I'm not really sure if they negotiated or anything, whatever. They asked him to take it down, and he said, "No, I'm not taking it down. This is like what happened, and I want people to know."
Mhm.
So that hotel has suffered a loss of business because of it, because people see that reviews, and they're saying that it's actually impacted
Sales?
the sales at the hotel, right? So they decided that because he wasn't going to take the review down, that they were going to sue him, and so they're suing him for $95,000 for loss of income, loss of whatever, loss of
I know.
sales,
Yeah.
and
Ridiculous.
so now the whole thing is going to court. But so my question is, like, what are you supposed to do? Like, well, the point is, the hotel should have done a way better job at reimbursing him or
Somebody
talking
make
to
him
him about making sure that he left happy before he leaves, because this kind of thing can happen to anyone, right? Someone comes into your business, has a bad experience, they go online and post a bad review about it, and I mean, I guess that's perfectly within their rights of what happened. It's not as long as they're not going on there and completely lying about what happened.
Yeah, so they make it up,
I
right?
think the argument would be that they didn't provide a safe and healthy place. I mean,
Yeah.
they should have done some inspection before.
Well, they're saying that his room was the only room in the hotel that had bed bugs, and that's, I mean, from what we common, I guess, knowledge from bed bugs is that bed bugs eventually spread to everywhere, and they'll get into everything, and that's a huge thing. So, yeah, again, the point is making sure that customers leave happy so that they're not going. So if they have a bad experience, you don't want them to go online and post bad reviews. The old adage there was, you make one person happy, they'll tell 5 people or whatever. You make someone unhappy, they're going to tell 50 people. You know, and now that's the internet, right? You can tell 5,000 people,
You can tell the
and
world.
you can tell the world just by posting online once. So
I guess, is it making sure they leave happy, or just making sure, like, not saying, hey, this person had bad experience, okay, I'm happy. It's just making sure that it should never come to that they're unhappy. You should be always trying.
I think
you
you're
never
always.
control it, but you can always try your best.
You always want to make sure that people are happy, and you don't want to make you don't want them to be. You want to try to give them the best quality product you can, right? And whether that's somewhere to sleep, whether that's a haircut, whether that's whatever, you're always going to get into something where someone's not happy. It might not be your fault. It might just be like maybe there was an accident, something happened. Like, so if you have a hair salon and someone accidentally messes up your hair color or something like that, or there's bed bugs there, or there wasn't.
Bed bugs isn't an accident. I mean, like,
no, I know that's something they should have taken care of.
It's just like easily catchable by the people who are cleaning the bedroom, right?
Yeah, and the thing is, bed bugs can be brought in by more people from other guests and everything, and the hotel industry, I'm sure bed bugs are like a plague, and how do you take care of it, right?
Yeah.
Without shutting down the entire hotel and
making everybody know, hey, we have bed bugs.
Yeah, and it's a huge thing just to take care of, especially even in your house. You have to take all, like, I don't know. There's a huge process of what you have to do, but
I don't know.
yeah. So the point behind that is, even if you have bed bugs, what do you do for that customer to make sure that they're not going to go online and post that you have bed bugs, rather than suing them, right? So now they're known as, they're the hotel that has bed bugs, and now they're also the hotel that sues their customers for bad reviews.
Is that a bed bug bite?
So
oh yeah, a little bit. Maybe it is.
So why are you going to want to stay there?
True.
You know, what is going to make me want to stay there now that I know that you have bed bugs, and if I say anything about your bed bugs, you're going to sue me.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, well, you know, something bad happened in this place. Don't say anything about it, because you will get sued.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't risk it.
I would say that, first call resolution is a practice that most call centers follow, and
What was that?
first call resolution.
First call
I mean, when a
resolution.
customer or anyone comes to you and confronts you about an issue, you have to make sure that you solve that issue right there.
Resolve it. So it's not like,
Exactly.
you're like, I don't know, you have to call this person, and then,
Exactly.
then they send an email to somebody, and then they put in reviews, and
So in the same way, I would say that the hotel should have resolved the customer when you brought up the issue.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. And by resolving that issue, they would be, I'm going to technically say they'd be happy. Whatever, they would be maybe not happy, but they're not going to be disgruntled.
Exactly.
So,
And if they are, hopefully, by doing this stuff, they're not going to go to the full extent of going to making this review and posting it.
It's like eating at a bad restaurant. You can eat at a restaurant with bad food with really good service. You know, if they have really good service and they're taking care of you, you'll still leave fairly happy because the service was really good. The food was okay. I wasn't happy with it. Like, so they burnt the steak, but they brought me a new one. And they did this, and it wasn't, or whatever, right? So, but if you have good service, that'll trump the product. That'll kind of trump the product.
To some extent,
it'll
can
help.
always be awesome and like, but like maybe by doing this, they might come back and try it again and say, hey, let's give it another shot. Right?
Exactly. And they're not going to go
that's
out
all you
and
can
say.
really hope for, I think.
So
with that.
All right, so that's going to end our discussion today.
Yeah.
I think we covered a lot of really good topics, and we'll post links to a lot of the content that we had here, some articles, and
I'm gonna put some links on how, you know, information about maybe how to become a Google trusted photographer, or even if your business, how to get a photographer to come into your business. So that'll be all in the information down below. So
Also, don't forget to fill out the survey. It's just some questions that we have, and it will be great.
quick and painless. And help us out. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.